Trafficking, human trafficking.
Yes.
I think you would call it sex trafficking as well.
Sure.
You guys, and that's what we're going to do for
Yes.
this. I think this is a very important topic. And just, for my own notes, I don't just believe that it's just for the month of January. I think it should be talked about
Yes.
all the time as
All
much
the
as
time.
All
possible
the time.
to educate our people.
That's right.
Or people in general. And guys, before we get started, we just going to go around the table.
Yes.
We're going to introduce all of our hosts and co-hosts. And then we're going
right.
to
And
talk
our
about our
guests.
special guests.
Yes.
Guys, and today, go ahead and all the co-hosts and hosts who at the table today.
That's right. So I'm Lady B. What's up? Hey.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You
I
got
thought you was going to do a little
Oh, I know. I just
lovely tea, guys. Lovely tea.
We have lovely
Hope
tea
you're having
here.
a lovely day.
That's right. Lovely day. Lovely
That's
day.
right. And yours
Lovely
truly, Antonio.
That's right.
Guys. And we have a special guest here
Yes,
today.
we do.
Special
Her
guest.
name is Tanisha Simmons.
Tanisha Simmons.
Yeah, she is the founder of Army of Angels. It's a nonprofit organization, guys, and we'll let her tell you guys all
kinda
about it because
powerful,
it's so much and awesome.
You said
Yes.
Army of Angels.
Army of Angels.
Wow,
Yes.
That's right. That's strong right there.
It is. It
So,
is.
so now, and before we get started, let's get into. I like to ask everyone, how were your day today? How was your day today?
Yeah. Well, my day was productive, so I consider that a good day.
Okay, great.
Get some things done.
That's right.
You know what I did last night? I meal prepped. So I took 2 hours and created meals for at least 3 days.
That's right.
So I hope that works.
That's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
That
I
is
hope that-
good.
If you
Yeah.
if you could be committed to that,
I
Yes.
know.
Yeah, if you could be
That is a good
committed.
thing.
Well, today I made some greens. I made some vegan dressing.
Okay.
Yes, and I made some macaroni. I used chickpea noodles.
Okay.
Okay.
And vegan cheese and all that good stuff because we're vegan, and so yeah.
I can't get
And
with
fried
the cheese.
mushrooms.
I still can't get with
Oh,
the
you can't?
cheese.
Oh.
I'm working on it.
I know I
feel
kind of miss
you.
my, I miss
feel
the
you.
cheese a little bit,
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
working on it.
well, the cheese. I think I found the right one. Because I would use it with grilled cheese. I would use it with my grilled cheese sandwich. What was I forget the Daya?
No, it's not Daya. It's
not Daya. It's-
I forgot the name of it. We get it from Fresh Time Market
Fresh Time Market.
Okay.
in Farmington
And
Hills.
they
Okay.
cheese is not bad.
But it's vegan cheese.
It's vegan
Yes, it
cheese.
is.
And it's not. I mean, it's not like the regular.
It's not that regular cheese.
When I
you know.
wasn't vegan, I used to like the sharp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sharp cheddar.
cheese. Yeah, I
Yes.
love sharp cheese.
Yeah.
Can't get
It
away
had that
from it.
taste. Yeah. And
Okay.
That was my favorite cheese. But
Yeah.
now since doing the vegan thing, I can't think of the name, and they endorsing us anyway, so they ain't
They-
paying
I know.
nobody to tell you who we are.
And Mr. Antonio has a birthday coming up next week, guys.
What?
So he's getting older.
I'm
Yes.
getting too old.
Moving on
I
up.
don't want to
Alright.
talk about it. Look, this
So,
is doing that.
You guys
Happy
can drop a
birthday.
comment,
That's right.
say happy
That's right.
birthday
Hey,
to
that's a
Antonio.
blessing.
Yeah, if you
Right.
want to, whatever.
what's
Whatever. But,
Life is good.
Life
Hey.
is good.
Reason
Praise
to
God.
celebrate.
I say
Yes.
that. Okay, but guys, we're in this time. The seasons are. It's been cold. Next week they said it was going to be a little bit better. I think I think I heard the 40s.
Okay, well, I'll take that.
I'll
Quote
take
me
it.
on that.
I'll
I
take it.
thought I heard. Maybe I was asleep when I heard it.
But my mother been calling. My mother's been calling, talking about it's 80 degrees in Florida. She keep telling me that. I'm tired of her telling me that. But go ahead.
What did I say when you said? I said, so what?
Yep, and I told my mother. He said, "So what?" She was like, "Okay."
So what?
Yeah.
So, I'm here in Michigan. That's
right.
That's
so when the
right.
snow is falling, the ice is down on the
Yeah.
ground. and different
Well,
things of
if
that
we
nature.
didn't have any snow, I think I would be worried.
Yeah, that's
You know,
Yeah.
because I'm like, God
Yeah.
created the seasons in this part of the region for
That's
a
right.
reason.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
You know, and the leaves are still on my tree. They just brown.
Yeah.
Right.
But they didn't even get a chance to like fall off so they can like get that full recycle, you know?
That's
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
It
That's
hasn't
true.
been too bad.
It hasn't been too bad, but I would love to live in a hot
Climate,
everything like Summerland.
Yeah, we need that.
You know,
Yeah, we do.
we definitely need it. And you know, one of the things about this weather, and I digress from it, but it seems like the longer, however long you live, for me in Michigan, you never prepared.
Right.
Yeah, that is so true. I'm gotta get some. We gotta get new boots all the time because it's always getting winter here.
You never prepare for the cold.
But you know, I hate to say it with global warming, it's not timely anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, like this year. Like we got that snow early as
we did.
I was like, wait a minute.
We did.
We're ready, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. We did get it early, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, hopefully we
And
won't
ain't
have
used them since.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't have a long winter.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
I'm
right.
crossing my fingers, guys.
Crossing.
Well, I have noticed, I know you're digressing from weather, but I have noticed that it seems lighter later.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
I don't know if that's because the solstice happened, but it's like at 4:30, 5 o'clock, it's still light. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Maybe that's global warning. Like,
right. Global warning.
Yeah,
They call it, not warming.
It's been this thing with this weather. It's just
Warning.
been a thing. But guys, you know, okay, so today we have a very important
topic.
Conversation, topic, lesson, whatever you want to call it. I believe that this is very important for at least Michigan. We're here in Michigan, but all over the world. Whoever dealing with this situation, and, you know, and they call it human trafficking.
Yes.
What is it?
And they call it like a modern day slavery.
Yeah, that's what they're
slavery.
calling it.
Yeah.
Modern day slavery.
And that's a shame that it's about, I look at it as a selfish point of view where, you know, in terms of the human trafficking, where I want you to be my slave and I want you to do this for me. Right. And I don't want to pay you for doing this services, or I want to pay you less as possible, or whatever it is. But, you know, today we have the expert in who can talk to us about what's going on. And I'm learning something new today, guys, as well. Because, see, in my mindset, I used to just think that human trafficking dealt with the sex aspect. Maybe it's just because I watched too many movies. What was that movie? What was the name of that movie? I don't know. I can't think of it. Where he talked about how he have these set of skills.
Oh yeah, Taken.
Yeah, Taken. Yeah, these set of skills, and his
a very
daughter.
unique set of
right.
skills.
And see, that movie projects so much in my mind where I'm like, well, yeah, that's human trafficking. It's all about them taking you to another country and
selling you off.
Yeah, selling you off, putting you on drugs, so you'll be, you know what I mean, out of your because I remember the part in the movie where I think the girl, the best friend, or whatever, he walked in the room thinking that was his daughter, and he seen her, the friend, laying in the bed, and she was drugged out of her mind. I think she actually had died, overdosed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in my mind, you know, the movie, I'm thinking like, this is what it's all about. Wow.
Right.
You know, but we about to learn some new things.
Right.
But that's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's real. Yeah. See, so that's why we got the expert here. And she's about to tell us, you know, do we have anything that we want to ask her? Now,
Well,
go ahead.
I know that according to the International Labor Organization, they estimate that 40 million people were victims of modern slavery in 2017. It said of those 40 million, 25 million people are victims of forced labor.
Wow.
Forced labor. That's right.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about that, but I digress.
Let's talk about it now.
Yeah.
So now, okay. So
we want to learn a little bit.
Let's do this. Let's break down the difference for all of those who need to be educated, like myself. What's the difference between traffic and what is the other?
Human trafficking and sex trafficking.
Sex trafficking. Because I didn't know there was a difference. Let us know. Break that down.
Can she? Okay. Did you get a full introduction?
Did you get a full introduction?
Yeah, that's why I wanted her to introduce her organization.
Guys,
you know,
Let's do it.
But we're just excited.
Okay.
We're excited.
So
I mean, it's a great topic. We can talk about it for a long time.
That's right. That's right.
It's an epidemic now.
Yeah.
But my organization is Army of Angels. We started in 2015.
Yeah.
It started with just me and a group of my girlfriends just sitting around talking. I had just moved back to Columbus because I had lost somebody that I loved. And they were just kind of there for support for me, you know. So we cooked and, you know, had a couple drinks and we were just talking like women do. And I'm like, oh my God, I felt so good, you know, especially after a loss. So I'm like, we have to do this on the regular. So I'm like, let's meet once a month. So we started meeting once a month, and I'm very spiritual. I love God.
That's right.
And everything I do is surrounded by Him. So I'm like, well, let's start reading our Bibles and having a Bible study. And so it just went from there. And then I'm like, well, how can we help people? What can we do? How can we help our community? So it started there. So I use my own experience. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, you know, and trafficking as well. So, you know, I use my own individual experience and put that into what I love and how I can help others. And it just started from there. And it has grown. So I never.
The need is there.
Yes, I know.
So are you saying that you use you were able to identify with this? And I think a lot of times it become a lot stronger when we can relate to a situation and we can adapt to that.
Absolutely.
And it become more of a fire within us to
to
push out with other people. We can help other people.
Exactly.
From our own experience. And I think that's what the word testimony come from.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Our own testimony. And who better to do it than someone who's
been through
has experienced
it.
parts of that.
And can share the good news.
That's right.
Share the good news.
If I lost my mother like I lost my father, if you've never lost a parent, how can you console me? How can you tell me it's going to be okay? You know, you don't know what that feels like until it happens.
Until it happens.
You know, if you've never been abused or raped, or you don't know what that feels like. You can have some empathy.
True.
You know, but you cannot sympathize with me. You don't, because you don't know what that feels
And it was
like.
good you said that, because I just seen a posting where a girl had lost her son. He had got his eyes poked out. He got killed. So somebody posted in there, won't you stop talking about this and give it over to God? And, you know, even though that's good, but then she came back and somebody was saying, how can you dare, if you never, have you lost a child? And she was like, no, I haven't. So sometimes it's, you know, like you were saying, you can have empathy, but you can't, you don't know where that person is coming from. You know? You got to be sensitive.
And that's right.
You do need to be sensitive.
I forget to say this, guys. Listen, you know, if you're seeing this, we're going to post it.
Yes.
You know, we had some difficulties in terms of the technicalities in terms of going live. And we had to pre-post this, and we're uploading this. But guys, listen, I forgot to tell you, listen, just because we aren't going live, doesn't mean we don't want you to share this page.
Right.
No, this is a very important topic. Guys, listen, like this. I want you to share it. Guys, I want you to put this into the hands of those who you might know need to see this. And guys, we're asking you, and I always say this every podcast, we're believing to be the best podcast in Detroit, Michigan. For now.
Right.
You know, we're going to travel abroad, but at this particular time, I want this podcast to be the #1 podcast. And guys, guess what? That's up to you. You know, we're putting that in your hand. We're giving you information that you definitely need to know. And we're educating you on every level that we can think of that will help our community out. So guys, share this.
We have to talk about the issues that are relevant for our community.
That's right. We have to talk. Now, I digress from that, and we can go ahead and back into the conversation. So what were we saying?
About my organization. So just a few more things I wanted to talk about because I love my organization so much. What we also do is we do a lot for the community.
That's right.
So, of course, we do back to school rallies and Thanksgiving, and we adopt families for Christmas and do that.
Great. Awesome.
We feed the homeless. We do blessing bags for them.
That's great.
Wow.
And I just started a youth program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relaunch it in the summertime. So I mentor a group of girls from ages 13 to 19. So it's just get these girls together and just whatever they desire to do with themselves, I want to help them walk in their purpose.
And that's good.
That's great.
But I'm going
Productive.
to ask you something too, because we talked before we went on, and you said something to me that was very interesting. You talked about the preventive measures in terms of preventing this from even happening. If we can, do you know how many times that if we can prevent something from happening just by being educated, it would help a lot of people. I believe that a lot of times that things sometimes bad happen to people is because they're not having an education in that area. It's not from preventive diabetes. We eat like crazy. The next thing you know, the doctor come back and say you have diabetes, or you eat. So many of the high blood pressure. It's because we're eating too much sodium. We're taking too much sodium in. There's so many preventive measures. And in this particular situation, we talked offline, and you said something about preventive things that can help prevent. Now, to those who are uneducated in our community, we have a lot of Detroiters and everything who have families, have daughters, and so many times, and I'm not saying it's this, but so many times when I go online, I'll see this, my daughter's missing. I see, and I think it was one recently. It was a white Caucasian family, and she was talking. It made me feel so bad where the daughter was in. I don't know where she was, but she was with somebody, and she texted her mom, and she said, "Listen, I'm fearing for my life. I'm in wrong company." That's what she said. She's in the wrong company. And it was before Christmas because the parents said that they had their Christmas tree up and they had their Christmas presents under the tree. And they said that they wasn't going to open their gifts until their daughter came home to open the gifts with them. But sad. You know how that. You feel bad because you already know, and I know their mindset. They're wishing the best, hoping for the worst. So preventive measures.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, let us know, what does that mean? How can we prevent ourselves from either human trafficking or sex trafficking? How does that work?
Well, even God's word says, "My people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge."
That's
right. So if we can get the word out there to help our girls, not even just girls, because young boys are being taken and snatched up too.
That's right.
So if we can make our young people aware and cautious of their surroundings, it will prevent. Let them know what to look out for.
That's right.
Right. If someone's following you behind you for too long, you know what to do. Go inside of a gas station or go inside of something wherever, because first of all, our children should not still be walking alone by themselves. As many missing people as we have about 600 people missing in Michigan right now.
Quite a few of them.
And that's only what's been reported.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So and we have to talk about this.
Yes, we have to talk about this.
It's like it's like the abuser that's in a family, that's abusing one of the young children, that it doesn't get talked about.
Right. Keep it up under. Let's sweep it under the rug.
Exactly. So it keeps happening.
The secrets are what kill us too.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
the secrets are what kill us.
Wow.
Yes.
That's big.
That's
big.
in DVSA. When you keep that inside, it eats away.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you become isolated. You don't think anybody's going to believe you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the same holds true for trafficked survivors.
That's
as
right.
well.
Yes. We have to talk about this.
And we have to, and see, when from the human trafficking, now wow, that blew me away when we talked about the people that's slaves and okay, so, when I was in school, by the way, I'm just gonna be truthful. In that class, I think I got an F.
Okay, what was the class, Antonio?
What class was that?
I know.
The anthropology. No, you didn't get it.
The anthropology, I thought I would have got an F in the anthropology.
Okay, but no, because you like history.
So we live now, guys. We live, she said.
That's good.
Yay.
Listen, I got a B in anthropology.
Okay.
And I was through prayer. Because I was right,
But you like history.
But listen, I think I got an F in that class. Listen.
What was the class?
I don't want to say.
Come on, women's studies.
I think it was English.
Oh, okay. Well,
Let me tell you what. We had to read a book, right? And it was on Enrique. Enrique, I forgot the thing. It was Enrique. Yeah,
Enrique.
Enrique. I passed the class. So the second time I got a B or something like that, whatever. Because I was more serious. Okay, so my thing was, and it's going to the human trafficking. Okay, so Enrique was in Honduras. And what happened is that they would train trap. They would train jump. The woman, the mother would travel to America, USA, so that she can provide for the children. But it was a dangerous route.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a lot of it was a lot of gangsters, a lot of different things that was going on. Women were being raped. Guys were using machetes, killing these individuals. So Enrique wanted to visit. He wanted to catch up with his mother. And the reason why I'm saying this is that when you mention human trafficking to me, I thought about Enrique because when his mother got to America, she was almost like, when she's in Honduras, she's thinking about how she can provide for her children. But yet, when she get to America, people find out that she's an immigrant. You get what I mean?
Right.
So now, what is that word? No papers. It's called when you don't have the papers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's no papers where you don't have illegal
immigrant.
Illegal immigrant. And that's what she was. So what happened was she was used by the system.
Yeah.
Individuals understood that she she shouldn't be here. So they would have her to be the housemaids and different things.
Right.
So they were taking advantage of her.
Absolutely.
And now, is that a form of human trafficking?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a form of human trafficking. And see, sometimes we don't understand that that's what I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was sharing earlier, like some of the Africans that work in the braid shops are, I say kind of indentured servants, where they've come over here and they've had to pay a certain amount, like the person said, you have to, give me a certain amount of money. However, for whatever reason, that amount is never achieved.
Wow.
Right.
And so they're consistently in debt.
Wow.
To this person.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind because I know even what I knew about human trafficking at the time, I never thought, as many times I went up in the hair shop and what I'm saying, and I tune out because they're speaking French or they're speaking their native tongue, and I'm tuned out, and I'm like, okay, just do my hair.
That's right.
And I haven't noticed that like this person has been working for 18 hours with no water, no food, no, you know what I mean? Like it never even crossed my mind. So we can be in our everyday worlds, folks, and not even recognize when it's right in front of our face that somebody is being, slaved, enslaved.
I got a new look on this. Guys, listen, I was told that we are live now.
Yes.
We had we had some problems with our internet going live, guys, and maybe you're tuning in now. And guys, listen, we're talking about, and this month, we're talking about human trafficking, sex trafficking. We have a special guest here with an army of angels.
Yes.
That's right.
That is her nonprofit, the Army of Angels.
Army of Angels.
And guys, listen, she's here, our special guest. We're talking about human trafficking and why it's important to understand what's going on so that you will be aware. A lot of times we're not aware. I literally have to talk to my daughters when they leave out. I look online and I'll see I think I've seen someone said that if they put something or tie it on your door, you're the target.
Yeah.
So and they're waiting on you to take the time to take it off instead of getting your car and take off and pull out.
Right.
So they hoping that when you start taking off the ribbon or whatever, that's time for them to jump out the car and go at you. So
But see, I want to throw a little spice in there too, because we got to be careful about the picture that we paint when we think about the victim, which I don't, but the survivor of a sex trafficking ring or whatever. Sometimes, Tony, they can leave the house. I'm going to the mall.
Yeah.
See you later. I'm going to hang out with my friends.
That's right.
See you later.
That's right.
Come back home, and during that time, they're out performing sex acts for their John.
You talking about the person who said I'm leaving?
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
A lot of these girls are still in school as well.
Wait a minute. So now, is it a thing now where they're not forced to do that? Can we call that prostitution? No. What is that?
Okay, first of all, if it's a minor, it doesn't. If they're under 18, it doesn't matter. There is no such thing as consent if you're a
Right.
minor in the eyes of the law.
That makes sense.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Okay.
But the thing is that it's a grooming process.
Yeah.
So we think of, and again, that's why I say I want us to be careful about, it's not always I'm going to snatch you out of a dark corner situation. Sometimes it's the guy or the girl in the gathering place. Okay, I'm old school, so I say mall, but wherever the kids go. Okay.
Right.
And it's a grooming process. Like, whatever vulnerability is being projected, that person picks up on it. They play on it. Oh, you're beautiful. Let's go out on a date. Next thing you know, hey, why don't I want you to meet a friend? Next thing you know, so it could be a slow and steady mind game.
Yes, a lady that I work with calls him the Romeo pimp.
The Romeo pimp.
Now why? Because he knows how to say the right words.
Right.
What does that mean?
He gets her to be comfortable with him.
Wow.
He does nice things for her.
It's an emotional
He gets
thing.
her to want to do whatever he asks her to do.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
That's
So
right.
now, okay, I want to get in that mindset. Okay, so, for the one who's doing the trafficking. So what is it? Is it a thing where, and I know we might not, I don't know if we know or not, but do they pay the young lady or the young man, or is it just a threatening situation where they feel like they can't leave?
Like we talked about earlier, there's so many different levels to this thing.
Okay.
And there are so many different scenarios.
Right.
You have somewhere the first few times they get paid and then they don't pay her anymore. She's
Right.
forced to do this.
Right.
A lot of times women are not kidnapped. It's
Right.
not this image that we have in our head of
It's not taken.
right. That's
Movie
not
taken.
that.
Yeah, that's all I
It's
think
not
about.
that.
That's all I think it's not that.
But you do have those cases
You
where
do.
Yeah.
women are snatched off the street.
Yeah.
I've seen so many posts on Facebook where women say they have been followed or almost kidnapped, or their Uber driver tried to kidnap them.
That's right.
It's just you just have to be precautious no
and
matter
not
what.
put it in a box. So you're right.
Right.
That does happen, and I don't want to
It does.
exclude that. I just want to make sure that we don't, look at the movies and think that it's this one way
Right,
that
because
it
it's
happens.
not.
That's right.
Because it's not.
'Cause, I mean, that was me, and now that I see it, my conclusion into this situation would be that it seems to me that, and now I understand that men are involved, young boys are involved as well.
Oh yes.
But to me, I'm looking. I tell my daughters, I would say, you guys are the product now.
Yes.
You actually the product for them making money.
Yes.
That's right.
And so that becomes deeper to me because
Yeah.
when money becomes involved, then it doesn't matter how I get you.
Oh,
Right.
You're
doesn't-
dehumanized
Yeah,
for
you're
sure.
dehumanized
You're a
because-
commodity
Right.
for trade,
Wow.
for
Yes.
What happened to
exchange.
the one in
And it's
Detroit?
and it's you can continue to use her over and over again.
Right.
Because you're making money off it.
Right.
Now, do you think it's a situation where if these individuals are pulling young women off the street, they're getting a set price, and where it could be a certain amount of money because they pulled them off the street, not more or less to work for them, but it's somebody who's saying that if you bring me her, I'll give
Exactly.
you so much
Oh
money.
yes.
You think that's involved
yes,
as well?
absolutely.
Yeah, I kind of think that too. I think it's more. It's guys, listen.
And I think that's what's going on now. That's why it has become such an epidemic,
That's
and that's
right. I
why
think so,
Predator is just so bold now.
That's right.
Yeah,
Snatching
that's the
children
word,
in broad
bold.
Didn't it
daylight
happen in
now.
Detroit? Didn't it happen at Coney Island or something? The young lady was talking about how they just came out
Came
and
up
they
in
started
there.
trying to grab. I don't think they
Yeah.
got her in the vehicle because there was a lot of fighting.
But they
going
was
on.
shooting
Yeah.
and stuff.
But they
She
were
got
bold
shot.
with it.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
So that means it's some money put out here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think we got to take this more, guys. Listen,
Yeah.
before I want to call it the Army of Angels. I love that name, the Army of
Yeah,
Angels.
that's awesome. Thank you.
Nonprofit. Before
That's
she began to
awesome.
talk even more about prevention, guys, listen. I want you to know we have to take this serious.
We do.
We don't become aware of this until it happened to us,
Right.
and then a lot of times, all the time, it's too late.
Right.
And guys, listen. You have to be aware. Listen, and see, this is the thing. I'm going to go there. When we do these Facebook pictures and, we're showing our body parts on Facebook, and you got guys that's listening, they targeting you. And then we on our phones, I think we have a track sometimes we even track ourselves.
Right.
I'm in this spot today, and I'm here today.
Right.
We don't use our wisdom to say, why would you track yourself and let people know where you are? If somebody already looking at you because you showing your body parts on Facebook, YouTube, and they already see that they can make money off you. Because at the end of the day, I want the best product I can get if I'm in that mindset.
Right. Exactly.
Because I want to make money off you.
And then I'm gonna, I always have to challenge, because we got to be careful about victim blaming as well, because what we don't have enough of is laws that go after the people that purchase. See, all the focus is like, protect yourself, don't put yourself out there. But I'm gonna say, and
that's right.
We also need to go after those that feel that it's okay to, particularly because your organization works with younger women, young adults, particularly with our children, with our minors. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in the eyes of the law and any parent out there, it does not matter whether she said yes, he said yes, it does not matter. They are a minor. Hands off.
Exactly.
And so there needs to be tougher laws for those who are having sex with children.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
And I think the part of the reason why it's so bad, because they get a slap on the wrist. There is no punishment.
Right.
And I'm trying to find this ad now where they said Detroit, they just put so many millions into putting a whole bunch of officers out on the street for human trafficking. So I'm trying to pull that up now. Just to get
and I thought also too, if we could put out a hotline number throughout the broadcast, just in case if those people are listening and they need it. So do you have a number yet, or
That's right.
Not for my organization, no, but there is a national number.
Okay,
I do have it up.
Okay.
I do have it up. So this comes from
and producer, put that number up on the screen, producer, if you when she ring it out.
Yeah, it's the human trafficking hotline. So it's 1-888-373-7888.
Say it one more time.
1-888-373-7888.
And now, when they call in, what are they calling in? What are they calling in for?
It's a hotline, and they're saying here, if you would like direct personal assistance and having trouble accessing services or cannot find what you are looking for, please contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline. So typically what happens on national hotlines, depending on your area code, where you're calling from, they'll link you to the local, resource.
Resource.
So.
And guys, that's what we're all about, trying to inform you, because, okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, so, because we always forget that there's younger individuals involved, meaning minors, right? Now, what is the youngest that you have heard or seen? Have there been a younger? What is the age limit to this thing?
Well, statistics say 12 to 14.
Wow,
is the recruiting age.
So you mean now? Let me say, I'm talking about now. When you mean, we know they both are bad.
Right.
But I'm talking about in terms of the sex trafficking.
Well,
are you saying 12?
Yes.
Well, they said that beware of sex trafficking at auto show.
Yeah,
like during
the auto
that time.
show has even though it's been moved to June now, but yeah, they said auto show. Yeah.
No more January.
No. But that is one of the biggest times.
Wow.
What's the football Super Bowl?
Yeah, Super Bowl.
That's another big
Any
event.
big population where a lot of crowd of people are, gathered together, and you can be real incognito.
Yeah.
Right. But so what does that mean? Because there's a crowd, I can pull you.
Yes.
So that's when the problem is snatching come in.
Right.
Because now I've heard of situations where there's been someone that's in partnership with the person. It could be a woman who will come and try to talk to the make them their friend and tell them these things.
This is the craziest thing that I've heard yet. The latest thing was there was a report of an older woman in a parking lot selling her perfume, like an oil substance that she puts on you. You know how they sample it,
right?
And she put it was a knockout dose.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
I thought that was so crazy.
Okay, so let's let's get to that.
Yeah, that was.
So who was the? Okay, wait a minute. You see, okay. So the one who was selling it was knocking people out.
Yes. So they put this oil base on you. as you like sample it to smell it, and it knocks you out. So you have to be you really have to be cautious.
Yeah.
So we can't smell perfume and cologne outside of the building.
No, you know, spray it in the air.
Yeah, don't even spray.
I don't want you spreading nothing by me.
I'm just being
I
honest.
guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so.
So maybe we should be smelling perfume or cologne outside the door.
These people use older people.
Yeah.
They use children.
Wow.
You know, you just have to be cautious and
that's
use
clever.
good judgment.
That's clever because you fall out.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I want to say it's clever because you need to understand what we're up against.
Right.
That's right.
That's very clever, so that person can, and then it must be somebody on standby to pick you up when you fall out.
They're coming up with all kind of tricks to take people. And as fast as they're coming up with ways to snatch people off the street, that's how fast we have to come together.
That's right.
Now, let me ask you this: what does an army of angels? Okay, so what is it that you do pertaining in terms of the sex trafficking, human trafficking? What do you guys do?
Well, I'm still working on building this thing. Okay, because it's hard to find solid people who are really ready to go to work.
That's right.
And get in the field with you.
That's right.
You know,
true.
you have to have a passion for this thing.
That's right.
And you have to be fearless when you're
That's
coming
right.
up against these people. And you can't be afraid.
That's right.
You know,
That's
and I
right.
don't want nobody on my team
That's
who
right.
is afraid of anything. You have to be relentless and just ready to go full force at this thing.
That's
you
right.
know,
That's right.
That's right.
I
That's right.
would be willing to give my life to save a child.
That's right.
You know,
That's
from
right.
That's-
being caught up in this world.
That's
So
dedication right
that's
there.
that's
That
the
is.
passion
And
that I
passion.
have.
So
Yeah.
let's hear. Okay, so do you have something set up in terms of, you know, this is when I get these individuals in, and guys, listen, you know, I believe that, you know, we have the best audience in the world at the Roundtable podcast, and I believe that you're hearing, you know, from the organizer, the CEO of the Angel Army of Angels.
Army of Angels.
And guys, listen, if you want to reach out to her, we're going to put up some information so that you can reach out to her.
Yeah.
You know, if you're out there and you're someone who say, listen, I'm hearing what she's saying. I want to be a part of this. I love what she's saying. Guys, we're going to give you that opportunity where you can reach out to her. You can reach out to this organization. Guys, we need you. We need you to be a part of this family so that we can protect our own people. We can protect our own.
Exactly.
And at least, you know, those who are in the city, and maybe it'll branch out, whatever. But guys, and listen, when I tell you there's a lot going on in the city.
Right.
I
It
remember
is.
this. I remember recently it was I think the news, the mail lady. She said someone was following behind her.
She had to
Yeah.
ask to go into
yes.
the house.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
But listen, you know, and this was a while. It was maybe 4 years ago, so don't quote me. But Detroit or Michigan is like number 2 in human trafficking throughout the country.
You kidding?
Yeah.
Because you got 75, you got
That's
the
right.
Ambassador Bridge,
That's
you
right.
got
That's
2 bridges.
Get you out of there.
You got, you know, you got a lot of interstate highways and byways.
That's right.
That make it easy.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Especially at the truck stops.
That's
and,
right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
right.
So because of all of that access, we're, you know, and various other reasons, we're like number 2 in the whole country.
Wow.
And again, that was like I said, about 5 years ago. So
We still probably here. Hopefully,
Don't be like
number
Tracy,
one.
you lying.
but listen, okay, in knowing that, there are some preventive measures. And guys, listen, and I'm going to just throw this out there because listen, if you have a daughter, a son or whatever, that they're minors, guys, listen, a lot of things that we don't do and we need to be more proactive in is paying attention to our kids' pages, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Instagram, whether it be YouTube.
Yeah.
Guys, we have to pay attention to who's watching their pages.
That's right.
There are some things that you can do now because of social media. And listen, you may not like it because you're trying to be the popular parent, but grabbing that cell phone for a minute and going ahead and looking in the inside of the cell phone. We don't care anymore about this diary. And when I was growing up, it was about this diary. That's my diary. I don't want you to take my, just tell me. Listen.
Yeah.
Right now, you need to be looking at your kid's cell phone. You need to be looking at their pages. You need to see, and not more or less for what they're doing too, but just to see who's watching,
what kind of company
exactly. And then you need to see what are they doing on their pages, what are they posting? Are they posting them posing in this provocative type ways? You already know what I'm saying, because we're in this selfie age where everything is selfish, and we're taking pictures of how we look because we want you to see us at our best. And young people pick that up, guys. You have to be proactive and paying attention to what your youth are doing. At the same time, when they leave the house, where are they going?
And we had a comment from Luciana. She said Detroit is number 2 in human trafficking in the USA.
Tracy hit on it down.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Luciana.
And it's not even just that. When we're going through our children's phones, there are so many apps on the phone that disguise things like your calculator can be a calculator can be a way to hide pictures on your phone.
Really?
Oh,
so,
wow.
Being a detective.
That's right.
I have a 11, 12-year-old that kind of keeps me abreast.
That's right.
Because I'm not that old.
That's right.
But even I don't know, because like you said, it's coming out so fast.
It's too much change.
Hell, I'm on Twitter still.
That's right. That's right.
So anyway.
But you come on now. What do you mean?
Yes.
Break that down.
Well, there's an app I know of. It's a calculator, and it's a way for you to hide stuff that you don't want people to just see on your phone just by looking at it. So you click on the calculator and you put a code in, and that's how you can have nude pictures and videos. And
really?
Wow.
So let me ask you this: if
wow.
I'm a parent, how will I know that? I mean, if they didn't, obviously they're not going to tell me because they hide.
Right.
So how will I know? Do you know what do I need to do to figure that out?
Just be a detective. I mean, when you have children and you want to protect them, you just have to use your instincts.
That's right.
And you just have to go there.
That's
right. What's privacy when your child is living in your home?
That's right.
No.
You have to go
right.
use whatever measures you can to protect them because they're so naive of the dangers that are out there in the world. They just want to go out with their friends and go to the movies.
That's right.
But they don't know that their friend may be recruiting them to come over to a friend's house and then.
Okay, we got a comment from Luciana again. She said, "Coding is learned earlier. Watch out for the playground."
Coding is learned
earlier. Watch out for the playground.
True. Coding in terms of, when you say that to me about me being in the technology world, I'm gonna think are you really talking about coding? Because that's what I'm thinking about coding. Okay, so all right. There's so much.
So can you tell us more about so your focus is prevention, right?
Yeah.
So is it prevention more on the individual level? Are you doing things like on the systemic level? Like, can you talk more about your
let
prevention?
me be clear. My organization, I started it for women of domestic violence because I know that lane.
That's right.
Gradually, as it grew, it came into this human trafficking and sex trafficking thing because God was just showing me things. I was having dreams, and He was introducing me to people who was doing the same like-minded things. So it grew into it. So I started doing a lot of research.
Okay.
My organization, I don't want to be put in a box.
That's right.
We are an army of angels, so we hit every angle.
That's right.
We want to help survivors. We want to prevent it from happening in the first place. We want to be on every field. We want to hit every angle of this beast.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right? So we want to have a facility. I'm working on having a facility for survivors who come out of it.
Okay.
Right? We want to be able to set these women up like we were talking earlier off air. I want to be able to set this woman up in a way where she can be independent and she can
empower,
get her life back.
Yeah.
To what she desires it to be, build her self-esteem back up, because these women are broken once they come out of this. Right? So, you know, they're not the same person anymore.
That's right.
So what we want to do is help build them back up, give them that self-esteem, give them their own sense of independence.
That's right.
Well,
that's right.
On every level that you can think of. That's why I need an army.
That's
you
right.
know, so you know,
of angels, and like you said, has to have that heart. They have to have that passion. They have to have that love. So when it says angels,
we also want to work on prevention. Now, I partner with a group of women. It's called United to Fight. Let me shout them out real quick.
United to Fight.
United to Fight.
And these are a group of women that I've been introduced since I've been here in Michigan.
Okay.
Extraordinary group of women. They all have their own thing going on, but we have partnered together. One lady her name is Kathleen Hurd. She got us all together to really start this thing up. She has her own organization called Damsel Take Your Crown. Miss Rosalind Flint, extraordinary woman. She does pollination. She has owner of the tea house. Yes.
With the bees and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. A young lady by the name of Miracle Nord. She's the owner of LWSC Community Circle. She just opened a house for women who are aged out of foster care.
And that's where I was gonna go.
Yes,
because a lot of and make sure you come back to your topic. I don't want to go on a tangent, but a lot of kids who are aging out of the foster care system go into what's called survival sex. And that.
Now, what is that? So you said, what is it?
Survival sex. Because they have a very limited support system. So they have to figure out how they're going to eat, where they're going to sleep.
That makes sense.
So surviving becomes a matter of selling their bodies for just their basic needs to be met. Survival sex. Wow. And there's a huge population that makes up that is those that are aging out of the foster care system.
So you saying that's their way of working to make money?
The way of surviving.
Where they go sell their body.
Yeah.
Because you have to think once they let you out, it's like getting let out of jail. They give you what? Bus tickets?
Yeah, 2 bus tickets.
They don't set them up?
Sayonara.
No.
Wow.
So
and there are some programs out there, but by and large, they're not.
It's an issue.
Yeah.
It's still an issue.
It's not structurally broad enough, big enough to absorb all of the children that are aging out of foster care.
Right. So what are the ages in terms of that?
So you're talking like what, 17, 18?
Oh my God.
And we always say that you're not even an adult. Your mind doesn't stop developing until 24 to 26. So you got these 18 to 24-year-olds out here trying to figure out how to survive.
Yep.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yep. So she just opened her house, which is awesome. She's awesome.
Let me ask you this before you continue. These are individuals who are doing things in the community.
Yes, we all have our own organization.
Right. And they help young women out or...
Yes, we all have the same like-minded things that we wanted to do.
That's right.
So why not? We just thought it would be
something
awesome
really
to come
good
together.
To come together.
Because we can do so much more together than we can on our own.
That's right. That's right.
Because even when I came to Michigan, I'm like, I had to start everything over from scratch.
That's right.
You know, I had to build a team. I had to get my resources in the city, meet people, you know, and it's a lot to do on your own.
Yes.
So when you have another woman who has her own organization who want to do the same thing, the big picture, you know, it only makes sense to come together.
So you know, these organizations are all in the city of Detroit.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So let me see. So we also have Michelle Anderson. She does a podcast called Love Logical.
Yeah.
She does a lot of great things.
Wait a minute, that sounds familiar.
Love Logical.
Love Logical.
Yeah, that does
yes.
sound familiar.
You seen her?
Yeah, she's major. Yeah.
She's an older lady, kind of short.
Yes.
Curly hair, I believe, glasses, short hair. Mm-hmm. I seen her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I ain't trying to point you out. Like, I'm just trying to see if we're talking about the same person.
The visual, right?
I know what podcast she's with. I think I know. I think I've seen her on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, you probably have. Yeah,
I think she's out at Royal Oak, Detroit. I think they out. Tosh, you know that Royal Oak. I think it's a podcast. So shout out to her. Good for you.
Shout out
good
to her.
For you.
Yeah, she's
good
awesome.
For you.
We also have.
Here she is right here. I have her. I put up. She in that Detroit podcast.
Yeah, they Detroit Royal Oak. I think it's out in Royal Oak. I know it's one.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, so partner with her, and also Stacy Johnson. She's a retired police officer.
Okay.
Yep, she's awesome. And a new lady we partner with. Her name's Dana. She's out of California.
She's out of California.
Okay.
Shout out to Cali.
And I'm really excited to be working with these ladies.
That's right.
That's good.
That's right.
Wow.
So now, what is it that you need help with? I understand you need the army, but
Angels.
of angels, and to our people that's out there and online, what do you need help with? Who do you? What type? Give us some scenarios in that situation.
Right now, monetary would be awesome.
That's right.
But not just that. We do a lot for the homeless.
That's
also.
right.
Okay.
But we're gonna have a fundraiser. I'm planning my fundraiser in March.
Okay.
So
I'm going to do a dinner where I come and just give information about my organization, what we're trying to do as far as the big picture.
That's right.
And the houses that we're trying to get as far as for women. Because my desire is, the big goal that I want is to have houses all over the country so that because a woman that is trafficked in the city, let's say she's trafficked here, you can't rehabilitate her in the same community that she's been abused.
It becomes difficult.
It
is a challenge.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to take these women out of that environment, out of that, what they
toxic environment,
and just put them in a new environment and give them a
fresh start.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so now that's someone who. Okay, so now let me ask you this, and I don't know if you know this. A lot of individuals who's in that predicament in terms of, I won't use the word snatched out, because sometimes I will look at snatch where they don't know this is going to happen. They somewhere out in the community and they get snatched out. But then you have an individual who's been eased into it, more or less like mental, emotionally brought into it. So when you say, what's the difference? Because there is a difference. I guess my thing is there's a such thing called prevention for those who are being snatched. Just like the one lady who put her phone up and this gentleman was following her and she had the phone up saying, hey, listen, I got you on YouTube. Everybody can see you. She came out, I think it was, I forgot the place it was, but she tried to open the car. He ran and tried to open the door too. Right. So that to me is more of a prevention. But what about the ones who are being the masterminds behind these individuals who trying to ease them into doing this? Right. What do we do for them? You know what I mean?
We also have to teach them what that looks like.
Exactly.
And I think it starts at home. First, we have to learn how to love our children.
That's right.
We have to learn how to let them know that they are beautiful, that they are enough. Because the real reality is, it starts at home, and maybe a child is not getting enough love at home, and they look for it outside of the family.
That's right.
Maybe the father is absent from the home.
That's right.
You have a lot of different cases scenarios, so you want to give them as much love as you can at home.
That's right.
But we also want to teach our young girls and children what this looks like when someone is trying to push themselves up on you may have a motive.
That's
right.
Because
I would add too. I would add too, in terms of prevention efforts. I think that particularly in schools, like messaging is very important. And so when you have messaging campaigns, when you are able to empower the students to speak to the students. So, when, like you said, you have a summer program, wouldn't that be awesome if they could start their own messaging campaign by the time they get ready to go back in school and put up posters and, because you want to create an environment that not condones. What's the opposite of condone? That doesn't condone.
That doesn't condone. Yeah.
That doesn't condone
Right.
conditions, you know, with the fallacy of like, you know, you gotta have that Gucci purse, or you gotta fit in, or you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Because those are the things like, those are the things that could be drivers to someone even being curious about, well, you know, maybe I can make this money and it might be a win-win. And it's like, you know, that's not what's important. Plus, how to identify. So it's not even just the messaging about you don't need that, or, you know, it's like, this is what you look out for, or in the bathrooms, in the girl bathrooms, do you have the hotline number? So there's a number of things that you can do from a prevention standpoint.
Right. And I think also getting the schools involved as well, because a lot of kids spend most of their time in school. So you can educate them at home. Right. But also I think schools should get and participate as well, get involved as well if they see something different, or just having some seminars or just little things like that.
Yeah, and then when they have their events, we need to support you.
Yeah, we're also, that's what we're working on, because Miss Stacy Johnson, she's an advocate. She's already in the schools, you know, making power moves. So we're going to be partnering with her and doing some things so that we can get into the school. So we're already working on doing something like that nature. But because yes, we know how powerful that is for the children to teach other children. And you know, my main focus that I want in my mentorship with my girls is when I did this in Ohio, but I had a group of younger children, but I let them facilitate everything as far as planning the events.
That's good.
Coming up with the name for the group, you know. So I teach them how to start a business. Wow. I teach them how to be independent, you know, so you don't have to depend on a man to take care of you. You know, what your vision is for your life, you can create it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, to walk in your purpose, you know, and sometimes young girls they only just need that boost. They only need, you know, when I was younger, I didn't have that positive voice in my ear of enforcement to push me to do the things that I desire to do with my life. You know, everything was so negative around me, or it just wasn't a focus on me to be great. You know, because moms and parents are struggling.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
And you know, the focus is, you know, especially when your parents are struggling, they're just focusing on getting the bills paid.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't want it to be lost that you are a survivor. So I think that's phenomenal that you found the strength to overcome, come out of your situation, you know, and now be able to give back and teach.
That's right.
Help maybe pull someone else out of that situation.
I was gonna go there.
That should
I'm
be recommended. Acknowledged as
that's
well.
Right. That's right. That's good. That's good. Yeah. What was a comment?
No, it was just we had a comment. She just said powerful, Derlin Johnson, because Derlin Johnson.
And guys, listen, you know, shout out to the Gathering Church.
That's right.
And guys, listen, you know, it's a thing where, you know, you have experienced it. I know you haven't went deep into your testimony about what's going on, and I believe the testimonies are very important and they're very strong, because what it does is it hits home, and it educates us into what we can, you know, talk to our children. Maybe there may be someone out there who's went through this, but they're embarrassed to talk about it. And guys, listen, you know, we have someone here, you know. I don't know if she wanted to tell her testimony or if she got in that place yet. But even so, guys, listen, you know, there's people out here who's been through what you're going through.
That's right.
And listen, guys.
And they got good news.
They got good news, because you're not the only one who's and there's yet hope. You can be happy. You can be, you know, you can feel good about yourself again. And
it's not your fault.
And that's what I want you to say.
That's right.
So can you, for us,
that's right.
You don't have to go in deep if you don't want to. But can you give us a piece of that testimony that we can be able to talk to, that it will be able to ring out to those individuals who've been through it or going through it, and maybe those will be the ones that want to help you.
Right.
So would you please?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, let's go ahead.
I gave my full testimony at an event that we did a few months ago, and it was so empowering. You know, because for so long I felt like I was raped when I was 13. So for so long, and I brought this person into my home. So for so long I felt like it was my fault. You know, I put myself in this position. You know, and then I started to second guess myself, or did this really happen? You know, can I say that this happen, you know, and not just going through all these emotions.
Yeah.
But I was 13, you know, and this man was 25 years old.
Oh,
Right.
You know, that was abuse.
Yeah.
Most
You know,
definitely. Yes.
and, you know, I was raped. That's my reality. I've learned I can say that now without bawling, and you know, that's my truth.
That's right.
And I stand on it, and I'm empowered in it now.
Most definitely.
You know, and I can help that next young girl to not put herself in the same situation that I put myself in.
That's right.
And that's why I'm so like, you know, Tony, I'll be like, but because we want to be careful. I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong, but we want to be careful about always putting it on the potential victim, if you will. It's not about what you wear or how you pose you know, I used to say I wouldn't give a sugar honey iced tea if she was walking down the street naked. Okay, our community is supposed to come up and say, hey, can I help you? Here's a blanket. Here's a, you know what I'm saying?
Not take advantage of her.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so we have to stop putting the blame on that person, because then when it does happen, it was, oh, well, maybe I wore my shorts too short, or maybe my shirt was too low, or maybe it was the way I walked. But in whatever it was I did, I deserved that. It was my fault. And we have to stop placing the blame on the victim, because it's not their fault.
Well, let me ask you that, and that's good. Okay, so what I want to do is, though, I want to go into that. I want to travel down that road a little deeper, and because my thing is this, right? Okay, so a lot of times, you know, we have these, you know, these perverts out there, you know, dealing with demonic influences, whatever it is they're dealing with, and do we add to that when we do walk down the street half naked? Let me say it. We still live in a society that people are influenced. I don't ever want to get away from that. That you don't have people. Okay, so let's get into the dating realm. When you have a guy that he see this attractive woman and he wants to date her, majority of the time is a physical before there's a mental. He see what he likes, you know, whether he's a pervert or whoever he is, he see the outside before he see the inside. Now, a lot of times we live in a society today where less is best. It is. It just is. Less is best, because if it's not true, we wouldn't have so many people posing. We wouldn't have these new outfits that come out, whether it be male or female, where it does bring, even though it's not right. I'm not saying it's right, but it does bring. Yeah, exactly. It entices the individual to pursue you even more. Now, I'm not saying that there's a right thing that you can do that can prevent you from someone wanting to attack you and rape you. If they whatever they dealing with, they're gonna come after you. But do it matters when we do start to change up the way we look and the way we want to be approached. Because I've always said that men are going to approach you according to the way you look. If you look, I'm gonna go there. If you look like a harlot, hoe, whatever you want to call it, you gonna get them certain. You ain't gonna get a banker that's gonna come unless he want to do some other kind of banking. But what I'm saying is, you not.
Tanisha, I'm gonna let you answer that first. I'm gonna come at him. So
I want you to. No, listen, I want you to come, because my thing is no matter what we say, it's very obvious that we have to do. There's some things. I just believe there's something that we can do on our part to some degree. I'm not saying that matter to someone who's crazy insane. Go there. I want you to go there, because there's an audience.
Okay, what about for that person that's dressing, you know, like very normal? They still get raped.
Exactly.
And that happens. I'm not saying it don't.
Exactly.
Listen, we did a podcast on. I did a podcast a couple months ago, and it was about legalizing prostitution. They're talking about it.
That's right.
And of course,
some places are already legalized.
Exactly.
That's right.
But of course, we're like, no, That's crazy. We don't need that out on the streets.
That's right.
For our babies to see that's okay, and it would just be women. Would it be okay for women to just be walking up and down the street anywhere? I mean, we already have that problem going on. So if we legalize it, like what? It's only giving. I think it's only giving the criminal access to do whatever he wants.
That's right.
Right. So I don't think that it should be legalized. But at the same time, on the other token, these women want rights.
That's right.
Right. They want to be able to make their money and
and
file
keep their
taxes
money.
and, do all this stuff. Right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to just regular citizens, as
let's get dirty with it. Come on, let's get dirty with
it. Women just being walking down the street. I mean, a woman should be able to, and this is such a tricky subject, like
it is
just dealing with women, period.
But you have perverted minds.
You have perverted minds, but a woman should be able to live her truth. And wear whatever she wants to wear without being attacked.
That's right.
But let me ask you this.
There is no excuse. I refuse to believe that a man is somehow incapable of managing his actions.
That's right.
Now, he may not be able to manage his emotions. He may get an erection, you know what I mean? Because bam, she bang, boom, bang, whatever. But to say that there is anything that gives a man an excuse to act upon a person without their consent, I just absolutely cannot.
So let me ask you this:
cannot give
so you
an excuse.
That
there's no excuse.
Do you believe? And I want to bring this up even. Do you believe that a woman should be able to dress any type of way that she wants, and there should be no what is the terminology I'm going to use? There should be no effects from that. Meaning, because a lot of times,
I'm not saying there won't be an effect, but what you always have a cause and effect,
right?
But what I'm saying is that there is no excuse for a man to violate another human being. But does it matter? For a human being to violate another human being,
that's true.
There is no excuse.
I love it, but what I'm saying is this. Even though it's no excuse, it happens anyway.
It happens anyway, but until we hold a standard, Tony, this is what I'm saying. We have to shoot for the moon.
That's right.
We may not get there, but we got to shoot for the moon, because if we have low expectations, then we'll get low results.
Okay, so now let me ask you this. So you got a daughter. You have a daughter. Okay, she's about to go hang out. Okay, she's going out. Whatever, she's going out. Okay, she go upstairs. Bam, she put on the tightest pants. They so tight, like she just took a bottle of spray paint, sprayed them on her. She cleavage hanging out. Boom, you know what I mean? She put all the lipstick on, long weave, got the heels on, and she's about to get you. And what do you say to her? Now, okay. Living in the society that we live in today. Living in the society that we live in today, do she make herself more of a target?
For human trafficking?
Yeah.
For sex trafficking?
Yeah.
I would say it would be the girl that's next to her that's quiet, shy, not confident. Because
they go for vulnerability.
Go for vulnerability.
But what if she's vulnerable, but they don't go for looks too?
I'm just saying, like a thief is gonna look for the house that's easiest to break into.
That's right.
A predator is gonna go for the easiest target. So if a woman is looking all like that and she feeling good about herself, whoop whoop. You know what I mean? Like she's gonna, especially for the romantic. What was the term?
Romeo pimp.
Especially for the Romeo pimp, because he
go after.
Not necessarily. He's going after the one that's most vulnerable.
Okay, educate me. That's what I want. Okay, so when I was growing up, my father used to always tell me. He used to always say, he said, listen. The dangerous one is the one you got to always watch out for. Is the one. The loud one, you don't have to watch out for that one. They just loud. He's always telling me the one who's quiet in the corner, that's the threat. That's the one you got to watch out. So to me, from my understanding of learning is, from my old dude, so that's the one you got to watch. That's the one who's always, thinking, put things. But the loud one, they just, they selling wolf tickets. So my thing is that, when you out in the club and because those are the ones.
Oh, we got a comment too.
Wouldn't it be the ones that go to the club, the loud ones? It is not, because my thing is
it could be anybody. That's what we have to. That's what we have to. we have to put out there. It can be anybody.
Okay.
It can be anybody because you never know. Like the pimp has mastered his game.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
right.
he can go to the baddest bee,
That's right.
or he can go to the one that's most quiet. He's
That's right.
going to slither and find the vulnerability to
right.
get you.
But what about the one who like to show or sell or show their curves, their body?
Even women who are sex workers don't deserve to be trafficked.
But they putting themselves out there.
They don't deserve to be
We get it. Listen.
We got a comment, y'all.
Before you go to that comment, we don't supposed to eat bad food.
But once you begin to dehumanize a segment of the population,
Right.
then you create and you perpetuate the sex culture and rape culture to exist.
Right.
Okay.
That's just like saying
It's
because
not okay.
it's not okay.
It's not okay at all.
Not
okay.
even for the
It's not okay.
transvestite.
But let me
It's
ask you
not
this:
okay.
Are there preventive measures? Okay, so my thing is that should I still, in knowing that, is there things? What can I do? What can I do to put myself? And I know we never know. You know what I mean? I mean, he did hit Sally Davis across the head, and she got a nurse outfit.
Well, the comment
You know
is,
what I mean?
let me
What's
just
the
run this comment real quick. It says, true, clothes do not protect women from rape. Rape is not sex.
We know that, but the same
Luciana.
thing is, it doesn't. I'm still going. I'm gonna stand by this.
Thank you, Luciana.
As being a man, I'm still gonna stand by this to say that there is preventive measures. I'm not saying that they're gonna work, because we never know what really is going to work. But I am saying that if we put ourselves out there. We have some crazy people out there. We have people who are predators.
We do.
And they look at you, and when you walking up the street and you dress a certain way, you are bringing attention to yourself.
Bringing attention.
But let me say this. Let me say this. So I don't want all the women in the world running after me. When I am saying this, I'm not saying that you can't dress fashionable, up to date material. But I am saying that there is now, because of the society that we live in, you do have to look over that dress. Unless you just want the attention.
Right. Some women may want the attention, right? I might be feeling myself that day.
But what about Jezebel? If you look at Jezebel, it's a part of the Bible where Jezebel says she fixed her face up before she went to address. I don't know, before she went to address a king or whoever he was. But she put the makeup on. She made herself look right. So why did she do that? In other words, what I'm saying is that if I was to go by that terminology, in women, why do we do the things that we do? And listen, I'm not saying that I'm throwing myself out there to say, hey, listen, women are the fault. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that why do we do what we do when we are women or men? Why do we do when we want to look? We put this makeup on. We put this certain clothing on. What are we doing and what are we saying? Are we trying to gain attention when we do this? I gotta play the devil's advocate.
Some women want to feel good about themselves. Some women do it because they, feel confident and. Because some women go get their hair done because it makes them feel good. No, they go buy outfits that makes them feel good, shoes. Okay,
now if you can see all of my body parts and it's sucked in like a plastic bag, and you can see the line of of my back part, the front end. You can see all this old stuff. Why in the world do I have to buy that clothing?
So are you saying when she dresses like that, that if she gets raped, if she gets snatched up and gets trafficked and sold out for sex, that
she's
it was her fault?
No, see, that's why I don't want to go.
No,
okay. I don't want to use the terminology. Your
definitely
fault.
don't want to do that.
Use that. No, this is what I'm saying. What I am saying is this: when you do that, you're putting the mindset from the corrupted person. In their mind, they're thinking, "Oh, she like it like that."
But that's not the mindset of the woman who was dressed that
obviously,
way.
Obviously, well, sometimes we don't know
because
now.
there are different standards of what beauty is and what a woman feels like.
Because it could be a woman that was terrible, that felt really bad about herself, and people called her bad and ugly. Or then when she start feeling confident, she want to look really good. She want to dress well. She want to feel good about herself.
But all I'm saying is this: Again, I'm
we
going
got to
to
start
ride this
chopping
again.
this down now, Tony.
I'm going to ride this
it's
again.
Getting close to the time.
We own the business, so it don't matter. So my thing is this. Listen, this is what I'm going to say. I'm still going to stick to the notion. I believe that when we step outside, and I can use the terminology. I don't want to go there. A believer from a non-believer, Well, we do have to dress accordingly. I don't think that we should set ourselves up, and I'm going to use this word, and I might get some feedback on it, but we shouldn't have to want to look like a harlot or a whore. A whore have a depiction. Why do you think a whore dressed the way a whore dressed? I'm talking about an actual person that sells their body on the street. Why do we dress that way? Because we're trying to attract attention, so that you will know what I'm about. So when I'm not using the terminology, when I'm not acting like that, and I'm still dressing like that, I'm still allowing those spirits or those individuals who are out there with that mindset to say, oh, she's a target, or she want this. In that sick man mind, in their mind, they're looking at, because you dress like that, you want me to pay attention to where you dress.
That is the very thought that we have to begin to dismantle. Because you dress like that, because you look like that, somehow I have a right to violate you. Absolutely not the truth.
And that's right. I'm 100% in agreement with you. I agree with that. But that's the narrative. It doesn't matter.
And it's sad.
But listen to what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. We living in a society now where your perspective of what is right and wrong is not right any wrong. Because the Bible even talks about your right will be wrong. People will look at wrong as right now.
Right.
But I'm going to be a soldier, right, for what it should be. Now we may not be there right now, but I'm going to be the voice that advocates for what is right. Exactly. And it may take generations to get there, but I'm going to be, my legacy is going to have in it where I've planted seeds for that to happen.
Right.
Okay. So
because I'm standing for this woman. So
that means that what you're saying is it doesn't matter how you dress.
It does not matter.
As long as the society should respect you in terms of how you present yourself.
As a human being.
As a human being.
They should look at you no matter what you do, how you act. That shouldn't matter anymore.
As a human being.
But you're dealing with a different person out there now.
As a human being.
I mean, there's a line. So, and it depends on your enviroment.
And you're talking about, you're working with youth. So if we can hone in on that a little bit more since we're wrapping it up.
We got it.
I can care less about
as a 13-year-old, what could she have possibly worn, said, done that gave that 26-year-old man some type of notion that, she want this at 13 and he's 26.
And let's talk about that. And well, a lot of time from the perspective of a male, it's all about
she's 13.
Well, I get that, but it's all about the controlling of a mind.
Okay.
Before you go there, because I know you're gonna go there, and I want you to go there, but I want to lay it all out there. Okay, so now I used to work for the health department. Okay, so the health department, we dealt with young women. We dealt with more so. In fact, we didn't deal with men. We dealt with young women. And our job was to assess the home. We had to assess the home. We had to see if we can even call in Child Protective Services. The house wasn't in the way it should be if it's not right. We had to go in the home. We dealt with pregnant moms. And I've seen them from young age. I mean, I've seen them at the youngest that they can go to the oldest they can go. You get what I mean? So this one particular young woman, she was about 14 and she had a baby. And the guy, he was an older gentleman. I don't want to put it out there. He ended up getting pregnant. She lived upstairs. Okay. She lived downstairs. She couldn't read. You get what I mean? She was very vulnerable. I don't think the mom was there like she should have been. And she had another sister, and her sister was out there too. So now the guy, from my understanding, and I talked with the young lady, and he will come down there, seducing the young mind. You know what I mean? Putting her, because now the man had to see that there was vulnerability there. Yeah, and I'm not just saying with the woman, I'm saying with the environment.
Yes.
The mom wasn't there like she should.
Right.
You know, the dad wasn't there in the home. So he seen that vulnerability there, so he made his move. You get what I mean? So it don't necessarily have to be in that situation the way you dress. It could just be the sense of being naive.
More than likely, it's never that.
Exactly. It's more being naive and innocent, and this person is taking advantage
It's like
of
a
you.
predator can sense.
That's right.
Vulnerability.
That's right. So I do get that.
Yes.
I'm not saying that I don't understand because of my training and what I was with the health department for some years. You know what I mean? So I've ran into a lot of situations like that in the house and everything. So I do get that. Don't think. But I'm playing the other part of this so it won't be just where it's one way. You get what I mean? I want to play both sides of this because there's people out there that think that says that listen, you shouldn't dress this way.
Oh yeah.
And then go ahead, tell your story in that area.
Well.
Or with the youth period, like what do you hope to achieve? What are some of the things that you hope to? What protective factors are you hoping to build up in these youth?
That's right.
My desire is to build them up their confidence, and let them know that they can do anything, no matter where they come from.
That's right.
And they need to know that whatever it is that they want to do, that they have that support to do it.
That's right.
You know, because when I was coming up, I wanted to model, and I didn't have that support.
That's right.
You know, there was nobody there to help me move in towards the dreams, the things that I wanted to do. So I went to the streets.
That's right.
You know, and also I think because that I was abused at such a young age, it kind of sent me down a path that kind of directed my entire life, unbeknownst to me.
That's right.
Until you get grown and then you look back on your life and you see what happened to you when you were a child, and then you say, oh, this is just like a domino effect of a number of things that happened to me. I didn't have that positive enforcement in my life to teach me to even speak positive to me and let me know that I can be great. I can do the things that I desire to do.
And that's good you said that, because there's a lot of young women that's probably have that same thought.
Yes.
You know, not having that. You know,
what were some of the signs? I guess the reason why I want to bring this up is that we have a lot of we have families out here that have daughters. You know, what were some of the, if you want to touch on it, you know, what were some things that you know the individual who did this act to you?
No, he wasn't a family member. No.
Did you know him anyway?
He was a young man that I met outside my school.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Was it over a period of time that he tried to talk with you, to know you, to get you to understand that he was friendly, or it was just an act that happened?
Yes, we talked on the phone. He convinced me to let him come over because my mother worked midnights. Okay. So me and my sister was at home by herself at night. Okay,
so let me ask you this. Now, did he say the right words to you?
He did, yes.
Okay. So see, to me, that's very important. And reason why I want to ask you, because I don't want to go deep in it. We already, I get what happened. So my thing is that, you know, we have young people out there today, and who don't, you know, how was your support system in terms of family members, making sure they checking on you?
There was no support system.
Okay, there was support system.
No, it wasn't no support system until after something happened. That's right. Then someone tried to step in. My grandmother came and stayed with us.
So we need that prevention then.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so my thing is that, and that was one of the things that I believe that happened with the young girl when I was with the health department. And I guess what I'm saying, what I'm trying to get around is saying is that, you know, okay, so even if you don't have that communication with family members, or you don't think you do, what I'm saying is that, you know, parents, it's very important that you don't put your job first. You don't put income first. You don't put a man first. You look and see what's going on with your child. You constantly keep that. And listen, this is the thing. Whatever you hear, you can't take that and hold that to them. You have to be able to have an open dialogue with your kid, so that you can say whatever you need to talk to me about. You need to talk. I won't hold it against you because I need to understand what's going on to you. We'll work this thing out. guys, listen, we have to pay attention.
Yes.
I know you're working hard. I know you're doing this. I know you know, you got this new man in your life, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get here. A lot of times, us as parents, when we're single or whatever it is that we is, don't allow any woman or any man just to come into your house right away. Find out who this person is. You have to look into these individuals' lives, their lifestyle, to see, because you're bringing them into your home. But I want to say this, listen, kids, you know, when you have these individuals, these men, they might call you attractive, and these guys know how to talk.
That's right.
For one thing, they're older than you. They're a lot more mature than you. They know the right words to say.
They have motive.
They have a motive, and you have to understand what their motive is. Listen,
money,
or just sex.
Just sex.
You need to understand that you are already beautiful.
That's right.
Young women, young men, you are beautiful. You're beautiful. God, I'm gonna put out there, say God loves you, and God called you the apple of His eye. I want to set that up. I want you to know that, and you don't have to allow someone else to step into your environment to say that they have to validate you because they're saying that you are beautiful. Don't allow that to take you. Don't allow that to run your emotions. Now I know it sounds good if no one's saying that to you. It sounds real good, but you have to understand what the agenda is, and listen, take that at face value. There's always an agenda.
That's right.
Especially if this is an old. And listen, why are you even talking to me and you're not even in my age
category?
Why are you talking
So that's
to me?
going to be another
And don't get people, I don't want your money. It may be hard enough. They might be able to buy the new Jordans. They may be able, you have to understand, you got to assess young people. Parents, I'm going to say this because young people may not be watching this. Young people, parents, you have to tell your kids or whoever it is to assess the situation. Always taking an evaluation on what's going on. Sit back, even, oh, baby, you look so good, you so beautiful. Listen, let me go home, let me digress, let me look at this and let me assess what just happened. And then can I get your phone number? If you 26, if you listen, if I'm 13 and you 19, listen, if you ask, why do you need my phone number? Parents, I'm talking to parents right now because I know kids aren't watching this. That's a reality. Parents, you have to be able to counsel your kids. You have to be able to sit down and explain these different things to your children because it upsets me to the fullest degree.
And do things with your children.
I was going to say that 12 to 14 age group that you're talking about, you know, in the age of YouTube, you know, parents, I would challenge you, you know, if you have a 12 to 14-year-old, maybe it's time to sit them down and pull up a video on human trafficking and sex trafficking. And have a discussion with your son or with your daughter or your son.
That's right.
You know, so that you can, you know, let them know that, hey, I'm in tune with this issue, and it's okay to come and talk to me. And most of all, I will believe you. You know what I mean? I will believe you, and I won't. You know, it's not about me chastising you because you didn't obey my rule.
That's right.
You know, and so now you feel like you in a rabbit hole because you didn't follow the rules and you were out doing something you weren't supposed to do, and now you can't go and tell because you shouldn't have been out doing. No. You know, you need to have that conversation with your children and let them know there is nothing more important to me than you. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
That's right.
All right.
That's
All right.
Yeah, guys, listen, we're hoping that you like this page.
That's right.
We're hoping that you share this. You know, this is a very important topic that you can talk for hours on because there's so much training to need. Listen, I'm gonna say this. I challenge my churches. I challenge my we said someone else that we need to talk to. Schools. I challenge my schools. Parents.
Even our doctors and our physicians.
That's right. Talk to them if you can. I know there's legal situations that some people can't talk about certain things, but if you can talk about it or just get something to write off or to say that we want to talk about this, I challenge you to start having or educating young people because that's what it's going to take.
That's right.
Listen, they're naive, they're young. You know what I mean? Folly is wrapped up all in them. So listen to what I'm saying. So it's going to take us to talk to communicate with them, to educate them, so that we can do our part in order for these crazy people that's out here, these demons that's out here that's trying to pursue our young people. Guys, listen, if you like this, we ask you to share it. We ask you to like it. Follow us, guys. We want to be the #1 podcast in the Detroit metropolitan area.
The Roundtable.
And guys, listen, we'll talk to you soon.
That's
Coming up is our relationship hour.
Yes.
We get down and dirty.
All right.
Talk
Peace.
to you soon.
Have a lovely day.
That's right. Good conversation.
Yeah, good conversation.
We didn't put our information up.
Well, I thought
we talked about it. We're gonna put it up. Yeah. So good job. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
What's going on with it? You call?
RW3.
That was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Yep. It was nice talking with you. And
Yes.
as
The Roundtable Podcast E-Block. I'm Chloe Brooke, bringing you the latest entertainment news from the Roundtable Podcast. Today's episode is presented to you by PaidToBePretty.com, now offering the Luxury Lash Kit. You can purchase Paid to Be Pretty's Luxury Lash Kit at PaidToBePretty.com. Before the ball drops, make sure you share this video and follow the Roundtable Podcast on all social media platforms. And you can follow me personally on Instagram at SoChloeBrooke. Stay alert. The Roundtable Podcast starts now.
You're watching E-Block News with Chloe Brooke.
Bill Cosby is now appealing his sexual assault conviction to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Now, we know back in 2018, Bill Cosby was convicted for sexual assaulting Andrea Constead at his home in Philadelphia. According to ABC, he believes his rights were violated in the court, denying the examination of witnesses, and when they allowed testimonies from 5 other women accusing him of sexual misconduct. Cosby's lawyers want the court to review his case, but this time considering the impact of the Me Too movement. I am for this redo because the entire Bill Cosby scandal sounded like a sketch for me from the beginning. I mean, of course, if he did the crime, then he has to do the time, but a man with a lot of money, a lot of power, a lot of women can lie, get him in jail, and there's a lot of incentives that come with that. So I'm all for this redo since this Me Too movement has gotten so big. Now, talking about the Me Too movement, Oprah steps down as the executive producer of the Me Too documentary centered around Russell Simmons. It was set to air on Apple TV, and according to TMZ, Oprah announced that she will no longer be a part of the film and she's blocking its path to Apple TV. Before her resignation, she was dragged by The Game and 50 Cent, who believes she was targeting black men instead of their white counterparts. In a recent interview, she said, quote, "In my opinion, there is more work to be done on the film to illuminate the full scope of what the victims endured. And it has become clear that the filmmakers and I are not aligned with that vision." To me, that sounds like Oprah's not really in fully supporting what these women accuse Russell Simmons of. It sounds like she just can't be on board. Now, the background to this story is that Russell Simmons and Oprah have been good friends for years. Now, this would be complete betrayal for Oprah to produce this documentary against Russell Simmons and the Simmons family. It would be just terrible. So I like that she's pulling the plug on this. I can agree with that. 32-year-old Creed actor Michael B. Jordan finally moved out of his parents' house. Well, on the Ellen DeGeneres show, Jordan revealed that he now has a place after years of living with his parents. He also talked about his latest film, Just Mercy, where he tells the story of a real-life civil rights lawyer and activist hoping to free a death row prisoner. This prisoner was played by Jamie Foxx, and he's wrongfully accused of murder. Just Mercy is now in theaters everywhere. Here we go again. A man wrongfully convicted of something. Now, this is a true story. I will definitely be out to see this film, and I love Michael B. Jordan, so yes, I'll be there. If Michael B. Jordan's in it, I'll be in the theaters. I'll be in the audience. Justin Chambers, who plays Alex Karev on Grey's Anatomy, is now leaving the show after 15 years. Now, Chambers plays Alex Karev, who started off as an intern at the fictional Seattle Grace Hospital, and he worked his way up to a pediatric surgical fellow. Now, according to Variety, Chambers made his last appearance on November 14th, and he hopes to diversify his acting roles. Now, that's why you haven't seen him lately. Bye-bye, Justin Chambers. I think he had a great run, 15 years on Grey's Anatomy. I know that was a good check, probably enough to retire on. I hope to see him in more films and television productions, but he probably could just retire on that. Kudos to him. Now, I know you have heard about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Harry and Meghan, they're stepping down from their roles with the royal family, and they're moving to Canada. Well, now it's official. Meghan and Harry's wax figures have been removed from the royal family's display in Madame Tussauds in London. Now, they've been taken to a separate viewing area, and the couple plans to start a charity while keeping the balance of some royal traditions. Well, it looks like I'd probably do the same thing. I mean, that's a huge commitment for someone who's trying to raise a baby, their first kid. I mean, who wants to sit and answer a whole bunch of stories about press people that you don't even know? That's a lot. I don't blame them. Go ahead and live that simple life. Take that London money with you. Kylie Jenner donates $1 million to wildfires in Australia. According to CBS News, the beauty mogul donated to the Australian fire crisis after backlash on Instagram. Kylie took to Instagram to share how heartbroken she was after the death of so many animals. And in her next post, she shares a photo of her wearing Louis Vuitton slippers made with what? Mink fur. Well, fans deemed the post to be insensitive, one showing sympathy for the dead animals, the next, her wearing a dead animal. Instead of a clapback, ABC Australia reports that $1 million donation came from the billionaire Kylie Jenner. I think that's a nice clapback. No time to say anything about it. Everyone, I mean, I like furs too, but that's a nice clapback. $1 million from Kylie. Kudos to Kylie. Justin Bieber recently revealed on his Instagram that he has Lyme disease. According to CNN, fans caught on to his sickly look, saying that he looks like he's on meth, but they failed to realize that he's battling a serious case of Lyme disease and chronic mono that affects his skin, his brain function, and his overall health. He goes deeper into the diagnosis in his new upcoming YouTube series, Justin Bieber Seasons, which debuts on January 27th. Wow, the Biebs is sick. I'd like to check that documentary out. Get well soon, Justin. Set It Off rapper Lil Boosie was recently spotted at a Hawks game in a Kappa Alpha Psi t-shirt. Now, if you don't know what Kappa Alpha Psi is, it's a Black Greek Divine Nine fraternity that does not in any way tolerate anyone wearing Kappa paraphernalia who is not in the organization. According to Bossa, Lil Boosie felt that since the Kappas always dance to his songs, he should be able to wear the t-shirt. Here's what Lil Boosie had to say. Well, the Kappas were outraged at the post and demanded Lil Boosie to take it down and never wear the shirt again. Now, me being an alumni of HBCU, spent a lot of time with the Divine Nine Greeks, and no, they do not like it when anyone else, that's a big, huge no-no. You don't wear Greek clothing if you're not in the organization. Like, that's a big no-no. And Boosie is hilarious. I mean, they do always stroll to his songs. They always, the Kappas, they got that. They love to hit it to Set It Off and all of Boosie's songs. So I guess he just thought he was going to be an honorary member that day. I mean, I don't know. That's hilarious. Well, that's it for today's episode of the Roundtable Podcast E-Block. I'm your host, Chloe Brooke, and you can catch the Roundtable Podcast on Sundays at 4:30 on Facebook. Don't forget to share this video and give it a thumbs up. We'll see you next week. Peace.